All right, so I'm going to show you how to rename some variables. So your map should look something like this. You should have the BC census data and the BC boundary. Note the difference here. Census data from Simply Analytics actually doesn't look the same, right? So they don't cut out all the water areas. They just have these big pieces. So we're going to do something about that in a minute. But for now, I'm going to show you something else. So you should have these two. You may have deleted this one already, which is totally fine, but make sure you haven't deleted variable names.txt yet. So I'm just going to give you a quick explanation, highlight a little bit more of the functionality of geodatabases and featured data sets. So if I bring this one in here, this long Simply Analytics thing, and I open it up, you'll note that we've got value 0, value 1, value 2. These don't make too much sense. Now, this is a shape file. A shape file is an old file type that dates back to like the 80s and 90s. And back in the day, when storage space was an issue, the actual column names were capped at 8 characters. So you actually couldn't have a variable name longer than that. And if you want to edit it, you go into this fields in ArcGIS Pro. You can't actually change the field name. You can change what's called the alias. So that's how it's going to represent in Arc. But anyway, point being, it's kind of clunky. We don't really like to use shape files outside. Instead, we like to put them in these geodatabases and feature data sets. So it helps keep things a little more clearly managed. So we can actually just go ahead and remove this. We don't need this one and delete it if you haven't done so already. But we want to use this variable names.txt. So if you right click on it and you open the table, you'll see down here, it gives us a list of the different variable names that we're going to work with. So what we want to do, and when you open this, you might see the table of contents stuff change and go away. But if you just click on your map, it should come back to what we're looking at. So you want to right click on BC census data and open the attribute table. And so you can just dock this next to here to make it a little easier to read if you want. You'll notice that we've got value 0, value 1, value 2. Again, these don't make a whole lot of sense to us, but we can edit them. So if you right click on value 0, for instance, it pops up this fields window. And you can reference this variable names.txt to see what they actually are, right? So field 1 or value 0 is actually basic total population. So if you go here, you can just type over this and you can go population. And you want to set the alias as well so that it actually shows up. Because otherwise, the file will have it named as population, but it might show up as value 1 or whatever elsewhere. So just do the same for the other two. So income and food costs. And so it's best to avoid using spaces in names. So I like to use underscores. Spaces cause issues in Arc sometimes. So I'll just call them food cost. And so once you've done that, you have to save here for this actual change register. So you can close this, close this. You can just leave this here for reference in case you get lost or something, or you made a mistake. We don't need to delete it. But you'll notice that now population, income, and food cost are all reflected here.